for anyone interested where consciousness originates, but also formulates, I guess. I suppose interpolates is the right word. Anyway, that I spoke on this various times, I think, and online too. I go to science forums, and there will be once in a while an article about consciousness. And so, where does consciousness originate? Well, it originates by my theory of quantum wave cancellations. And it starts to formulate through microtubule transference throughout the neural structures of our brains. And then there are varying theories that are layered above quantum wave cancellations. So I reduced and derived quantum wave cancellations as the only possible means in a neural structure to be a way to let information pass between neurons without stimulating a third, and then to amplify and stimulate a third in various ways and stuff like that, so that you can look at wave function, or a collapse of a wave function, to understand the crests and troughs and complicated wave interface, I suppose, wave interface of neurons. But I have never talked about this. So what happens after all of that, when you have, like, you can have stretching and contorting, and shrinking and thickening and numbing neurons, say for drinking alcohol too, right? So it lowers the capacity volumes of your neurons, if I remember right, or something like that, or it makes them more conductive, but then it kills them out. I don't know. I'm not a neurologist, but this other thing I have never read about, and this is another one of my ideas on other complicated systems in our brain that form consciousness. And so after all of that happens, so the brain lights up in an MRI, and you understand that, you can see it all lighting up, but why do we have an input bias and then an output bias? And why are we able to make decisions that would otherwise be perfectly stimulus of cause and effect? Right? Why can we do that? And the answer is two things. The lobes of our brain don't just function like increasing surface area, and so the older theories of you have these folds. The folds increase surface area that allows for more neurons. Yes, but it also allows for the neurons of the brain to interpolate and to create a dielectric structure, which means that you have basically lobes that function like capacitors, like paper and oil capacitors, that create frequency structures as well, and that all circulates and manifests in our brain like with quantum wave cancellations. And so it's not just dielectric capacitance, it's also, you have, if you look at my hands, imagine my fingers all being neurons, that this is just connected neurons. Instead, you have these lobes, and the lobes allow for like curling of neurons too. And then so, you have your lobe and it's coming down, and all the neurons are doing their fancy neuron things. But then the dielectric will allow for interpolation. So you have every variable to constitute connecting wave functions between your neurons. And they function simultaneously as a dielectric, but also they can jump and arc electrical signals between the lobes. And what that does is like three things simultaneously. But you have your input bias that sends some signal through to you that allows another signal to pass back through that signal so that you can react. It's really crazy, right? But so you got your dielectric brain functioning frequencies backwards out of the lobe. So it gets to the lobe, it sort of just fills up. It's just like a capacitor, and then you react, and it sort of empties that neural structure right there, and that's how you cause and effect. And then it sends that signal back through to the other side, and then it allows you to interpolate information between the neurons that all just connect and light up a big area. But why at the middle of the brain? And that's where it gets interesting. I'm trying to make this video shorter. Is that at the middle of the brain, our brains are kind of like cauliflower, is what people say. And though there isn't necessarily gaps in the brain, but there's different densities of gray matter that function like dielectrics that allow the same sort of lobe manifestations at the core of the brain. And that's pretty much it. Make another video, I have more to say.